Suicide is a global public health issue, with over 700,000 deaths annually. The top 10 countries with the highest rates face unique challenges, from economic instability to cultural pressures. Lesotho leads, with 72.4 suicides per 100,000 people, driven by poverty and HIV/AIDS. This video explores the complex factors behind these alarming statistics, using WHO data and local case studies to reveal systemic failures and potential solutions. In Lesotho, 57% live below the poverty line, and 23% of adults have HIV, the world's second highest prevalence. Traditional cattle herding livelihoods are collapsing due to climate change, leaving young men particularly vulnerable. Suicide rates here are 3 times the global average, with hanging being the most common method. NGOs report that only 5 psychiatrists serve this nation of 2 million, highlighting critical gaps in mental health care infrastructure. Guyana's suicide rate, 40.3 per 100,000, stems from lethal pesticide access. 65% of suicides involve agricultural chemicals. After WHO restricted paraquat imports in 2020, youth suicides dropped 12%. However, rice farmers still face economic pressures from volatile global markets. Cultural stigma prevents 80% of survivors from seeking help, according to Georgetown Public Hospital's 2022 mental health survey. Eswatini's monarchy sustains extreme wealth disparity. The king owns 50% of national land, while 60% of women live on less than $1.90 per day. Female suicide rates doubled since 2015 due to gender-based violence and limited reproductive rights. Traditional healers remain primary mental health providers, as there are only 2 psychiatric hospitals for 1.2 million people. UNICEF reports 34% of girls attempt suicide before age 19. South Korea's 26.9 suicide rate reflects extreme academic pressure. Students study 15 hours daily. The 2023 National Statistical Office revealed suicide as the leading cause of death for ages 10 to 39. High-profile celebrity suicides like K-pop star Sully, 2019, sparked national conversations, yet corporate culture still discourages therapy. Seoul's suicide prevention barriers along Han River bridges have saved 1,200 lives since installation. Lithuania's 21.6 suicide rate traces to Soviet-era trauma and rapid post-independence privatization. Men account for 80% of suicides, often through alcohol-related means. The 2008 financial crisis worsened conditions. Unemployment peaked at 18%. Vilnius University studies show that each 1% GDP drop correlates with a 0.8% suicide increase. Traditional stoicism prevents 60% from seeking help. Per 2021 Health Ministry data, Suriname's rainforests conceal a mental health crisis. Only 3 psychiatrists serve 600,000 people. The 2015 gold price collapse triggered economic depression, with suicide rates peaking at 27.8. Maroon tribes face particular risk due to mercury poisoning from illegal mining. A 2022 Johns Hopkins study found that 90% of suicide victims had never accessed professional care, relying instead on spiritual healers. Russia's 21.6 suicide rate is fueled by rampant alcoholism. Average male life expectancy is just 68. Rural areas like Siberia see rates 3 times higher than Moscow. The 1990s privatization shock caused a suicide spike, particularly among unemployed factory workers. Government's 2006 alcohol restrictions reduced deaths by 9%, but homemade samagon, moonshine, still circulates. Permafrost regions show highest risk due to seasonal affective disorder. Kazakhstan's 19.2 suicide rate masks regional disparities. Oil-rich Atarau has 5.1, while agricultural Kizilorda hits 30.7. The 2019 Nur-Sultan protests revealed youth despair despite economic growth. Soviet nuclear testing sites show elevated rates due to intergenerational trauma. A 2023 UNICEF study found that 40% of teen suicides followed parental labor migration to Russia. Traditional horse therapy programs show 34% effectiveness in rural areas. Japan's 15.3 suicide rate reflects unique pressures. Hikikomori, social recluses, number 1.5 million. The 1998 financial crisis triggered a wave of karoshi, death by overwork suicides. While overall rates dropped 40% since 2003, female suicides rose 15% during COVID-19. Tokyo's nighttime suicide patrols and AI monitoring of train stations have prevented 500+ incidents annually. Traditional shame around bankruptcy still drives 20% of cases, per 2022 police data.